What's up, mortals? It's I, JoelCupcake.
And it's me, CowVan.
And we are back at you with another episode of Pex Pals.
This is episode 3?
Episode 3, baby.
We're there. We did it.
I feel so important, you know?
Dude, right? It's like having something that goes on longer than once or twice, you know, is not something that never happens.
Well, what do all those doctors say about drugs? 7 times makes it a habit, right?
I don't know.
How you feeling, Calvin? I went to my chiropractor today, and she fucked me up in the best way. So I'm feeling good. I am ready for today's episode, dude.
Dude, I'm ready because I just had a bratwurst. So I'm there, bro.
See, bratwursts are good, but I'm Portuguese, so to me,
some linguiça.
Oh, dude, linguiça. There is like few things in the world better than like a wicked linguiça, dude.
No, you're right though, dude. Okay, let's not get into this topic. Let's not get into the food topic because that'll take the whole episode. Let's get right into our top tips and tricks, and I will go first.
And can I just say I love this part of the segment because
it's good.
Just as a reminder for those of you that might have already forgotten about our last episode, I've been improving a lot in the last 2 months of my gameplay, and I've been getting a lot of tips from Calvin and watching other streamers. So it's like a mix, I love that. You know, hopefully we can help some of you other mediocre gamers. I'm a mediocre gamer. I might be. Same. I might even be the step below mediocre, but we can talk about that another time. You know, and just the way, you know, there's a lot of guides, there's a lot of fucking videos, there's a lot of like advice you can ask the occasional streamer. You can always ask your sweaty friends how to play, but like there's a way you answer these questions, and there's a way you explain to someone who genuinely wants to learn that Calvin, you just do very well.
Oh, thank you.
And so, I mean, I like hearing you give these tips, even if nobody else that watches this fucking or listens to this fucking show does.
Right, exactly, right.
You know what I mean? Okay, so let's kick it off, baby. Hit me with it.
Let's go right into it. My tip today is involving movement. Okay, so movement is something that's huge in Apex Legends. If you can get behind cover, if you can juke a dude, if you can dodge bullets, you know, you're going to better your chances of winning that fight. So practicing movement is essential to your gameplay, and that doesn't just mean like can you run and slide. It doesn't mean like can you jump mantle faster or whatever the hell. Movement means utilizing the obstacles around you so that you better get an advantage of your enemy, right?
Yes.
So, for example, one of the things this game excels in is mantling, right? Which is like climbing onto objects. And another way that one of the things they do to help you benefit from that is the ability to shoot or hang from an edge. So you can hang from edges. I don't know if anybody really knows that, but if you go to an edge and like
I do it all the time. Like, that's the best way. You're like, what's his fucking name? Wilson.
Wilson from Home Improvement. You could hang on the edge and just hang out there and give looks around. But also you can. I don't know if you can shoot from that position because I've never done it. But during mantling, you can shoot people, and that gives you an advantage because they don't see your head yet. But you see them as you're climbing over the thing and you start to fire, you can get that advantage on them. So mastering movement, using unorthodox movements like running around in circles is something that all people do. You know what I mean? We've all played Dead by Daylight. Running around in circles doesn't necessarily work. Doing some jukes, climbing up top, going around, leading them, baiting them one way and then coming back the other way. You know, like engaging them as opposed to running away from them or tricking them up, thinking that you're going somewhere and not. If you're trying to run away and rat, is essential. So my tip would be play a couple of games of pubs and just work on your movement. You know, not every single game you play has to be one where you drop a 20 bomb, you know, and get 4K damage. You can play games to learn, you know. And I don't know, I've never done it, but you can activate the dummies in the firing range to shoot at you. And you can practice.
Only 3 of them do it. Only 3 characters, but yes.
Yeah, so you can activate the dummies in the firing range and practice your movement there. You know, like there's no one out there saying that you cannot practice while playing. So Practice your movement. It is essential to surviving in the Apex Legends world.
Yes. Yeah. See, I like practice. You're right, dude. Like I have been really better with hitting my shots and winning my gunfights. But what I've noticed is that I've gotten a little more used to crouching while shooting, but I'm forgetting to do my little wiggle with the left stick.
Yeah, you got to wiggle.
I keep forgetting to do the wiggle, and I'm like, fuck, if I had wiggled, I would have won that fight. I can do it when I'm sniping, but for some reason, when I'm sticking my Spitfire in someone's throat, I like forget to wiggle. So like, it never hurts to keep practicing the movement ever.
There's a lot going on in a gunfight, so do not beat yourself up if you're not doing everything perfect right at that moment. So, Joel, what is your tip?
I'm going to go with well, one is a warning and one is a tip.
Okay.
The warning is if you notice the lobbies are particularly sweaty, understand the term being baited, because I've had multiple games where I got third or fourth place instead of second or first place, because I know that we're in the final 3 rings and the team closest to me, which is usually the team with the high ground or the best positioning, they'll just shoot a clip into the air.
Yeah.
And then my team thinks that they're engaging the other team, and we come to third party and then just get rickrolled. So don't, like, I've been a lot more cautious about just running in right away. Yeah. Like, I've actually also been playing a lot of Watson the last week, as you know. And like, so I like stay back a little bit and I'll drop my ult a little away from the line, because if they think we're pushing and they come out of their spot, we then have my tower to protect us from ults and grenades. Right. You know, so that's my warning. My tip, this is very important for a lot of you mediocre players. Do not be afraid of pistols. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Everyone that watches a pro streamer, your number one instinct is going to be to pick up a Mastiff or an R99. Now, embarrassing fact with me, I cannot control the R99 worth a shit. I played a bunch of games over the last 2-3 days where if I hip fire the R99, I lose the fight. Wow. ADS is a different story. But if I hip fire the R99, I've lost every fight, usually to a Mastiff, unfortunately. Right. But so I'm not good with that, but you know what I'm great with at close range? The RE45. Yeah. You know what I mean? Solid also, gun. Nobody picks up the P2020, I feel like. If you get the hammer points,
it wrecks.
Hip fire. Even if, it actually fires faster if you hip fire it. And obviously, Calvin and I are both huge fans of the Mozambique. You know, I had, what was that? What's today? Friday? So Wednesday night, I won 3 games in a night. 1 duos game, 2 regular games. And then we got like a 3rd and a 4th place in ranked. Okay. Yeah. Every single game, the last kill I got, and two of the game situations, the winning kill I got was with the Mozambique with hammer points. Yeah.
Dude, Mozambique.
So and not just the beak. Obviously, we'll have a whole nother episode about the beak. I feel
God. Yeah.
But don't be afraid of pistols. That's my answer to you. Like,
it's a good tip. Like, it's a good tip.
Like, don't worry about what the meta is. Use what you know. My go-to loadout is an RE45 and an EVA 8. Yeah. And you know how many times she'll tell me I'm crazy for that? But the highest KD I've ever had in a single season was me using Watson and running RE45 and EVA 8 as my go-to loadout, or a Spitfire and one of those 2 guns. Right. So
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. There's a lot of weapons in Apex right now that are underutilized based on meta and stuff like that. But I've always said, it was like a tip I gave last week was use what you're comfortable with. You know what I mean? I don't even know if I've said that, but I've said it to other people. I don't know if I said it last stream though. Yeah, who cares? But yeah, use what you're comfortable with. Use the things that are comfortable with you, and there's a lot of weapons out there that have things about them that make them great. You know, the hammer points on the P2020 and the Mozambique. Speaking of Mozambique, my last YouTube video, it was me going 13 kills, 2,300 damage, and the only gun I had started with the Havoc and the Mozambique, and I switched the Havoc later on for R301. I kept the Mozambique because it's such a great gun.
I was actually with you in that game.
You were in that game. So
I witnessed you just going beak 6 feet deep. You know what I mean?
Beak, like 6 feet deep.
Yeah, like, and you know what, guys? You don't have to take it from us. some of our advice might seem a little crazy to you. So one of my favorite Apex streamers to watch is the Twitch appointed queen of Apex, Lulu Lovely. Yes. And you know what? Even she said, you know what, bro? The RE45 slaps. She said that, not me. She said it live on her stream 2 days ago. I even texted Calvin that she said it. Yes. So don't just take our word for it. The pistols slap. They're slept on. But anyways, on to our next subject. Calvin, why don't you kick this off? Let's talk about, most of this episode is going to be about the Caustic Town Takeover and the most recent patch. So So why don't you kick it off, my friend?
Okay, so if you've been playing any this season, you have seen that that the map has been changed, and we have a new area at the bottom of the map where water treatment used to be, but now it is Caustic Town Takeover, where they've essentially turned the entire area into nauseous gas fume mania. Right, the outside has changed. The outside water areas have changed to raised pillars where you can float on top if you land on top, and now there's loot crates underneath them. And the inside has been completely changed so that as soon as you walk in the front door, there's nauseous gas. Liquid form at the bottom of the thing. You can go into a control room where you press a button that lowers the gas so that you can get exclusive gold items down there. And most notably been in there has been the longbow, the Mozambique, gold armor, and I think it switches out between a revive shield and a helmet.
So, not to cut you off, but I've been dropping there nonstop.
Right.
And I play more pubs than you. No disrespect. Yeah, so it's always a gold 30-30. That's the one thing that's guaranteed. Because they're trying to force us to use that stupid weapon.
Yes.
So it's a gold 30-30, and then the other items that rotate are the gold beak. You were basically right.
Yeah.
Gold longbow, gold beak, gold helmet, gold armor, gold revive shield, gold backpack, and gold R301.
Yeah,
and
so it's pretty much gold weapons.
It's always the 30-30 and one of those other...
bunch of gold stuff in there. And then the outside and the back is 2 more areas with loot boxes, like helicopter pads. And I think there's a rope back there, too, that you can fly out with. And then there's a secret area up top that's only accessible to Caustic and Watson. That you have to have one of those characters to open the door, then your whole team can go inside. It's kind of like a really hardcore rat area.
Very hardcore.
That is exclusive to those 2 characters if you have them on your team.
It does have a little bit of lore, though. Like, it has a video message.
There's a video, yes. There's a video message up there.
It's kind of like if everybody remembers when they did the Wraith event with I call it the butthole, but the portal.
Yeah.
And then, like, there's the one door you kick open and you can go play a message from, like, the day she escaped.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like, it's a little tiny bit of lore. It's like a video from Caustic about the city he destroyed with gas, which is you hear them make little comments about why Caustic got sent to the games to perform and shit.
Right.
Like he's like, they've made comments about how he's like a wanted criminal before. And I think that part of the storyline is alluding to that.
Yes.
Yes, I think the little clippage. But
yeah.
And then the other thing to note is those 4 tubes that open with the gold items. Mm-hmm. If you don't get out quick enough, you can actually get locked in those tubes and it kills you.
Yes. So that's one of the new things about the Caustic Town Takeover. My overall impression with it is I don't like it. I don't like it. I think the inside is fun. I think the inside is fun. You get some good loot in there. There's a lot of loot around the inside and on the back side. The outside is still so spread out. It's so wide open that you almost have to fight inside the Caustic Town Takeover or the building, which is cool, right? But there's no you would think that the control room area would be easier to fortify, to bunker down, but it's not. As soon as the doors are gone, it's free reign for anyone to do whatever you want, and you don't necessarily have an advantage in anywhere in it, which is fine. I mean, you don't want to have it. You don't want to give anyone a particular advantage in any particular area of the game. But the inside is kind of like boring controlled fights. The semicircle around the outside, like the front area, is more boring controlled fights. You have to fight on a catwalk and not jump into the gas, or you take damage. You know what I mean? And then the gas in the trailer, it felt in the trailer, they made it seem like you're gonna just smoke up this entire area, and caustics are just gonna run supreme in there. But it's so lackluster. You know, you press the button, the liquid goes away, and then you get your items, you jump out. There's plenty of time to do it.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is that the liquid still hurts caustic.
And the liquid still hurts caustic. So it's like what's the point of this area if it's not some like death chamber that they made it out to be?
And they had all those canisters all over the map.
Yeah,
I mean? With the Wraith, it's like you had the portal, which was cosmetic, but you can reuse it to launch. So it has some sort of benefit. Yeah, you know what I mean? Let's go back to World's Edge, #free World's Edge. It has all the blast shields around all the rocket jump points that you can raise up that make a shit ton of noise and alert people where you are. You know what I mean? So there's objects you interact with. The only thing in caustic is the secret lab and those 4 containers that hold the gold items. Like but leading up to it, we saw these containers of gas all over the map. You can't shut those off. They don't have secure vision. Like what? Like I feel like they overhyped it. Like I feel personally, I'm happy. I love going. The caustic, caustic treatment is what they're calling that little area of the map. I love it. I understand your points though; they're not invalid because I love you. But I personally love the room. But outside of it, it definitely sucks. Like the surrounding fight is worthless. But in the fucking thing, there's a gas going off and like the clip. Yeah,
the trailer was made it seem like it made it seem like it was T2 Terminator. You know what I mean? Like Costa's just shooting gas and he's putting thumbs up through the smoke. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like
that and like I guess what I want is I want a deep dark place on the map to fight, and I thought that it was going to be that room where you have like dark corners and gas going off and obscured vision and hard fights. Right. The only place in Apex that's ever been like that is on the top of my head is 2 locations. Okay, the first is that little tiny cave in swamps underneath the big building in the corner.
Yeah, what no one uses.
Which I use it. Most of our friends didn't even know about it. I actually made Andrew and Kev follow you. Well, we holed up there the other day and let a bunch of teams fight it out, and we got a top 3 that way. Nice. Because we were just sitting Andrew was just sniping from the mouth of the cave, just shooting everybody. Right. And they're like, I didn't even know this existed. I was like, dude, so many people have just forgotten that this part of the map is there. Yeah, it's useless.
So
there's that, and then the cave where the vault outside of Lava Town is. Sorry, not Lava Town. The dome, like the dome.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, in the bottom right corner.
Yeah. So that part of the map, that cave is like dark and it's like a little hard to see in. I like Apex because it's bright and happy, and I don't ever really have graphical complaints. You know what I mean? But just give me some dark despair place where I can just walk in and murder a whole team because they can't see me properly.
Yeah, or something like that. Something that plays to. For example, they made Olympus, and Olympus is bright and colorful and futuristic looking, and you're like, whoa, this is a really cool new looking map, But, and they try to do things like, I don't know. I don't know. Like you said, World's Edge, there's some dark corners and places like that, but you don't really play those, areas. You don't really go there, my opinion is that the Caustic Town Takeover was a fun addition, but it didn't add anything to the game.
Yeah. Well, and I'm curious if it's going to be another situation where does it end up getting nerfed? Like is the gold items after this event, what is it, the extinction event or whatever they're calling it? Right. Is it only going to be 1 guaranteed gold item when you go in there? Or are they actually going to leave the dedication to the map? Like how they said they reallocated all the good loot at the crash site to being in the ship. Yeah. I feel like that's a freaking lie. Like maybe you get 2 purple shields. Right. And then you have the explosive hold, which should have good shit in it anyways. Right. So what did you do? Just put common loot in the rest of that area? I feel like that was a big selling point they were going with. You want the fights to be at the ship because that's the emphasis of that new part of the map.
Right, and the lore and all that stuff. Yeah. So I don't know. So how do you feel about the new red zones, the Phoenix areas, the burning circles on the map?
The ring flares or whatever. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing, and this actually is another tip. If you're playing Apex right now, just turn off your dialogue volume and audio.
Oh God,
so that you don't have to hear Mad Maggie. Okay, I understand that it's a storyline. I understand that she's Fuse's like arch nemesis or rival or scorned lover or whatever the heck she is. But goddamn, she is annoying. So I turned off the dialogue. I do like the ring flare. So if you noticed after yesterday, it says the ring flare is level 2.
Yeah.
Apparently the ring flare is going all the way up to a level 5.
Oh, so the damage increases on the inside.
I don't know if it's the damage or if it's the style, because the first 3 days of the event, it was little ring flares all over the map. Now it's one big one, always covering at least a third of the safe zone.
Right. Yes.
You know, so what's next? Like, are we going to get it like, you know, where 2 edges of the map get it and it forces everyone into each other?
It's very reminiscent of the red zones in PUBG, right?
Oh, yes.
Right.
God, I haven't played that game in a long time.
So long. And the difference is, though, in PUBG, if you go into the red zone, you get hit by the mortar, you're done. Yeah. Right. But in this game, it's like, here's a red zone for you, but it's safe. You know what I mean?
So
here's a heat shield, so it's safe.
Well, what I realized is that the red zone, the damage the red zone does is equal to the damage of the ring you're on.
Yes, it does. So it's not 100%
if you go into the red zone on like the 5th ring, you're donezo.
Right. Yeah. You're gonna get messed up if you go into the red zone, and it does its job. What takes the damage from you, but then they give you the heat shield, so then it doesn't do its job. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, oh, you know, this is a cool idea, but why? You know,
well, And what I'm seeing online with those heat shields is, you walk into an area where there's 2 teams that have just been plowed through, right? You have 6 or 4, depending on which mode you're playing, death boxes, right?
Yeah.
Say you can't make it to the final circle, but if each of you already has a heat shield, that's 6 heat shields.
Yeah.
Times 3 teams, that's 12 heat shields. I've literally, one of the Facebook groups I'm in, there's a thread of people complaining about, I lost the last ring, and the second, we were team 1 and team 2 never pushed. They were still in the red zone, just sitting there putting heat shields.
Yeah.
Down.
Yep.
And so there should be maybe a harsh kill zone if you don't push. I know that that's not something they'll probably ever implement.
No.
But
no. Yeah. The heat shield is so. Gibraltar used to have a passive ability where he used healing items inside of his dome faster. And I think your teammates did too. And that was a unique thing because the dome was supposed to protect you and supposed to keep you alive and keep you safe. Yes. Which was a really cool character specific passive trait, but they took it away from Gibraltar because they gave it that ability in the heat shield. Now, in your heat shield, you can use your healing items faster than you do outside of the heat shield, and you can use those anywhere.
No.
What?
I tested that yesterday. That's my fault for giving you false information.
What?
The heat shield, the buff to the item usage only happens if the heat shield's being used.
Well, that's what I meant. No,
like you have to be taking damage.
Right.
Like I threw a heat shield in the safe zone the other day to try to heal faster, and it did nothing.
Right. In what I meant to say is you can use your heat shields in any red zone anywhere, the ring flares or whatever, and as long as you're in that heat shield, your healing abilities they are used faster, or the healing items are used.
And it's not 15% like Gibby. You're better at math than I am. So a Phoenix kit normally takes 10 seconds to use. In the heat shield, it takes 3 seconds to use. So that's what, a 70% increase almost?
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, it's a huge increase.
Stuff off a Phoenix kit?
Yeah. And so if you're in the final circle, and like you said, you have 3 people on a team and each of them has 2 heat shields, that's 6 heat shields that you can use successively and stay alive a really long time in the red and force other people to fight without you. I mean, you and I were playing yesterday and we got caught in the red and we survived on heat shields in the red and waited for the next circle to come in so that we would survive to the next circle.
Yeah, and we looted up. We all got purple level shit.
Yeah. It was easy. It was easy. So I think that needs to be addressed. That encourages like turtle meta, not doing anything, and forcing other people to fight.
This game does not, like, Overwatch already has the turtle meta. I don't need another turtle meta in another shooter I play. You know what I mean?
Speaking of metas, the big nerf that everyone was concerned with and everyone thought that was going to be a game changer was the massive nerf. They decreased the pellet damage from 13 to 11, and they increased the firing rate from 1 second to 1.1 second. So everyone was like, "Oh shit, this is going to be a big ass nerf to the massive. It's going to be unusable." Blah 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 blah. No, I literally just in the firing range right before we started the podcast, and if you land a headshot, which is all 7 of the pellets landing on a headshot, you do 112 damage, right? Which is huge, right? Because the Mastiff is used primarily as a gun that you stick in someone's face, you pull the trigger. On the body, if you land all 7 pellets, it does 83 or 88 damage. I can't remember right now.
Yeah.
But that's still huge. That's still so much damage to, for one gun to do at a close range, So
it's maybe 3 shots to full kill someone instead of 2.
Instead of 2. Maybe. Right. Whereas, in the early stages of the game, you land a 1 good headshot and then another regular shot, you're still going to 2-shot people early game. Yeah. You're still going to 2-shot people with white armor. It has done negligible impact on the fights at late game, giving you 1 shot more to take, whereas, in a close range, everyone's jumping around and zapping around, it's hard to shoot at somebody already, you know what I mean? And so this dude comes at you, lands 1 good massive shot, and all of a sudden they win. I don't think the nerf to the Mastiff really changed the gun. So for all you Mastiff players, still pick it up. It's still one of the better guns in the game.
It's a little more on par to the EVA 8, but I'm a big fan of a lot of people saying it's time for the Mastiff to go back in the care package and the Peacekeeper to come back on the map. I'm ready for it. I think I'm even more ready for the Prowler to come back on the map. I'm so tired of that being a red gun because that's my favorite weapon in the game.
Right.
The Prowler in full auto, I will take that hands down over anything.
It rips. I would say it would be a good transition to do the Peacekeeper and the Mastiff switch, because the Peacekeeper, the power from the Peacekeeper comes from the choke, right? And the choke takes time. And also choking, to utilize the choke on the Peacekeeper in an appropriate fashion takes a little bit of thought. Though you can still run in and just wreck someone with the Peacekeeper at close range, because it's still a very strong gun. You're essentially doing the same thing with the Mastiff. Yeah. Both of those shotguns are really good, right? There was a reason why the Mastiff was a crate gun, for at the beginning of the game, because it's still a great gun. So those 2 guns are incredibly powerful. Which one goes in the crate, which one's not, I don't know. I would say just switch them just for variety, spice of life. You know what I mean?
Or buff the Eva just a little bit.
Well, here's the thing though. If you buff the Eva, then you're making 3 very oppressive guns. You know what I mean? Yeah. Having 2 that are interchangeable, I think that's a better idea, because if you put the Mastiff in the crate, people are going to pick up the Peacekeeper. If you put the Peacekeeper in the crate, people are going to pick up the Mastiff. It's going to be one or the other. We just have to decide which shotgun we want to die to. Yeah, you know what I mean?
True. So yeah. I will say the Eva is very underrated. I have noticed a few of the streamers made the switch. Like the bigger level streamers have made the switch to the Eva because of the rate of fire.
Right.
And I will tell you, as someone who finds himself defensively playing a lot, if you're in a building and they're not, if they're mid to close range, like not in your face, but like I mean, you can if you have like if you have a bruiser on your Eva, you can shoot someone, and if you aim for the body, so enough of the pellets will hit them. Like I've broken up to purple armor on people from a distance with a full barrel of the Eva. So like
Eva's a good gun.
What is 7 or 8 shots? Like even at a range, it does still have its potential. But I just feel like it could maybe just tighten the pellet spread a little bit at close range. You know what I mean? Because there's some hip fire fights with the Eva I feel like I shouldn't lose that I do.
Right. But it's an interesting gun, and I think that's why people prefer the Mastiff, because you point and shoot with the Mastiff. You know what I mean? You point and shoot, you're gonna hit the Eva, and I think the reason is because the people shoot the Eva, and it's 2 things. People shoot the Eva 8, and it's either one of 2 things. They either shoot and see if it hits, and then shoot again. Or they spam fire and they miss a bunch because they're not taking the time, to line their shots up. When it should be a mixture of the 2, right? You should shoot. If it doesn't hit, recalculate and shoot again as soon as you can, because that's the beauty of the Eva, is that you can semi-auto it, and put more bullets down the range to do more damage. And so I think that's a twofold thing. It's a twofold thing.
Correct. I do like on the note of what else they've changed. They silent patched it like a day after the regular patch. They finally fixed Gibby's gun shield, so bleed comes through. We talked about that a lot on the last episode. Actually,
yes, we did.
So that did happen. They actually didn't tell us it happened. I think because Gibby is almost always in the meta, right? Like almost every high level team has a Gibby or a Rev. You know what I mean?
Right. So
but they did fix it.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, and if you don't recall from the last episode, Gibraltar's gun shield used to be able to absorb any shot at it before it touched his armor. So for example, fully. So for example, if you pull up your gun shield and someone came up to you with a Kraber and shot you in the gun shield, it would do 145 damage to the gun shield before it touched your actual shield, and your shield and your health would have 0 damage done to it. The gun shield would just disappear, which made it a very strong weapon. And so before, when it took two Mastiff shots to kill a Gibraltar, or to kill anybody, it took 3 Mastiff shots to kill the Gibraltar because of the gun shield. Whereas now it's probably more along the lines of 3 or 4, because the gun shield still has the damage to it. But if you do anything over 50 damage, if you do anything over 50 damage to the gun shield, that damage now goes through to Gibraltar's regular armor and health. So it's a huge shadow nerf that they acknowledged. They said, "Hey, this was supposed to be in the notes, but we didn't do it. This is a lie. This is legit what we're trying to do." So Gibraltar's gun shield is not as oppressive as it used to be. You can still push because you have that 50 health points to still tank some shots, but it's not as strong as it used to be.
Correct. Which is fair. I think it's fair. As someone who has played both him and Caustic a lot, I like the big boys because I am a big boy.
Right.
I think it's fair. I think it's completely fair. Caustic. We're not going to really talk about this long, but the gas does a static 5 damage, period. Both his ult and his mines. I honestly haven't noticed too much of a difference in effectiveness. I do notice that people are a little less scared. Like some dude will come up and kick the door open and just stand in my gas and try to shoot me in the doorway instead of backing off like they used to.
Right.
I have noticed that, but his gas is still obscuring. So I do feel like for the most part, people avoid the ult when it's out.
Yeah.
I still think it was an unneeded nerf, but I don't think it's as damaging to the character as I thought it was going to be.
Right.
I'm still seeing a lot of people play him.
Yeah.
So
that's actually a good segue to something that I've been thinking about recently, and it's about how the game is playing, or the game is being catered to DPS. Right. And so we talk about Overwatch a lot in this game because Overwatch is the tried and true, extremely popular. People still are, dead set playing it to this day game. Right. Yeah. The numbers have gone down, obviously, but it's still a huge game, especially with Overwatch 2 coming out soon. And so
hopefully,
Well, hopefully. And so people look to that game as like, you know, what to do now? How do you keep longevity in a game that long and keep it as high as it is, right? Because you can keep a game going for a long time.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if no one fucking plays it. But yeah, so Overwatch, there's a lot of talk in the Overwatch community about how the game caters to DPS. And that was noted in the damage reduction of characters across the board, or health reduction of characters across the board, and the reduction of the shield's health from all the shield characters, because people were complaining too much about the shield meta in Overwatch. And I feel like right now there is a lot of changes to the game to Apex that are catering towards the people who favor running and gunning as opposed to playing strategically, right? So, for example, Gibraltar's gun shield nerf, which is huge, right? Yeah. Because it means that if you get the jump on the Gibraltar, you're gonna kill him faster, right? As opposed to where it was before, where you'd have to go through a whole gun shield first in order to get to him, to get his regular body.
Well, and he's less effective mid-fight. Like he's less how many times are you in? There's 4 teams fighting, and the Gibby can toss his bubble down. He's back at full health, and he gets a res off.
Right.
And it's hard cover because you have to physically walk through it to do damage in it. You know.
Right.
So like, it's still the hard cover, right? But him not having any other advantages other than the resurrection.
Right. That doesn't really help, because anybody who's aggressive is going to push that bubble when they see the res. You know what I mean? Or anybody who is aware is going to see, oh, there's someone down in the bubble and they're rezzing. I'm going to push so the Gibby doesn't get the res because I have a short window to do it. I do it all the time. Now that he doesn't have the heal, it's just like, okay, now they're both weak on the inside. Now I'm definitely going to push, you know? Or whereas Caustic Gas does a flat 5 damage, you know, and it doesn't even stack. It's just flat 5. Doesn't matter how much gas is on you. You're getting flat 5. And so it's just like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to push this gas and kill the Caustic inside. You know what I mean?
And like, you should at least get the stacking damage back.
Or like, something.
I understand leaving it at a flat 5, but if you are dumb enough to push into a room where I have 5 mines out,
that's your own fault.
Why are you not taking 5 mines worth of damage?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's your own fault. If you are smart enough to acknowledge that there are 5 gas mines in a room, you know what I mean? You're not going to run through it. You know, that's just dumb. If you see a Watson gate, you know, blocking the door, you're not going to run through the gate. You're going to take unnecessary damage and obscure your vision, or you know, you're not going to run into a Gibraltar ult. You're not going to run into a Bangalore ult. You're not going to run into anybody's damage. So it's if you do, it should be your fault. And those nerfs that they did to the characters, like Caustic and Gibraltar, I think it's just playing towards people who want to get the kills and are mad that they didn't get the kill off.
Like at this point in time, I'd rather it go back to when Caustic did 1 to 3 damage a tick, but it at least stacked. You know what I mean? I'd rather them literally revert to like vanilla Caustic, but it at least stacked, because the stacking is the crucial part. Because like, I can't tell you how many times mid gunfight I'll drop a dude and I'll toss 2 mines on his body and let the mines kill him, or I'll toss a mine in the middle of gunfight. I'll look right, I'll look left. I'll just toss 1 of each, and then if a character walks between both of them, they're getting 6 damage a tick. Right. You know, and it's like the disorientation aspect I agree with, but the gas also doesn't slow you anymore. Right. Like Watson's fences, they still slow you. Yeah. They still hurt your shield and hurt your vision. She gets all 3. You know?
Yeah, right. So yeah.
Actually, go ahead, finish.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say that segues me to my next point. Like, you know, to wrap up what you said, just the fact that the Mastiff nerf did nothing means they're still focusing on DPS.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Now, I will say, on the note of buffs, I think the best buff they gave out in this patch, Pathfinder got his low profile removed, which is great. I think that's great news for Pathfinder mains. I think, in my personal opinion, and you already know this, Calvin, the Watson passive buff can be insane.
It's huge,
especially if you're the person who solo drops a lot.
Right.
And like you find yourself fighting on your own, or potentially having to rat to keep your points in ranked,
right,
or whatever it may be. If you're a sniper and you do the long battles a lot, okay. So Watson now every second she gets 0.5 of her shield back. So Octane gets 1 health a second back. Watson gets half a point of her shields back a second. Now, what I have experimented in with, and I even showed Calvin this, that you can put on the gold shield with Watson, and it goes up to 1 point a second. And then if you stack it with her ultimate, like you don't even need to use a shield cell because because you're getting the bonus, because it takes less to charge the gold shield. So as Watson, I've just been dropping the Caustic Town Takeover because 3 out of 5 times there's a gold shield there. So I just go and grab it, and I literally just walk around with shield cells the rest of the game. I give all the bats to my teammates.
Right.
I'll carry maybe 2 bats just for like an emergency.
Yeah.
But I'll get fucking 12 shield cells and 4 ultimate accelerants. Yep. And I literally don't worry about my shield. I'll just sit there, snipe all day. Yeah. I think it's a great buff, and I think it's, regardless of you having the gold shield or not, the fact that she slowly regenerates over time. You can be in a fight with a purple shield, for example. So you have, the 4 slots of shield level. You can do 2 cells, and then if you're not getting hit, you can
just hang out,
depart from the fight, hang out, snipe. You have multiple options because it's not very long. You'll get those last 2 chunks back up on your own.
They're and that's a good point, because it helps. One, it helps the character because she hasn't been really picked except for like hardcore tournaments, which I've seen, and she's not really a fan favorite because they're eliminating the capability of survivability. You know what I mean? They're eliminating survivability, and so giving characters like Octane, which has passive heal, and now Watson, which has passive shield regen, the extra added to stay in the fight longer, I think it's healthy for the game. Is it oppressive? No, because her whole aspect is just surviving.
Wait, hold on. You used the word oppressive. That's a smart person word. Let's use a Reddit term. Is it broken? No, it's broken. Not broken.
It's not broken. Right. No, you're right. Good. That's a good acknowledgement. It's not broken. It's not broken because it's such a slow regen that by itself that you can do more damage to it than it regens. The person has to actually not get shot for a really long time to stay alive.
I will say it does help if you like the hot drop. Watson's great because you can put 1 fence at like a main doorway, and then like, bro, you get the white shield, or even if you're the type of person where like you like to drop and just melee the shit out of somebody,
right?
You know what I mean? You can do that and get your shield, because everyone has always Evo shields now, which I actually love that change. It's always Evo shields now, so if you get naturally from sniping, whether it's beating the shit out of whatever you do, the damage to your fence, like, and you get why does my phone keep doing that? Last episode was me leaking the water. This episode is
you always have issues, dude. You always have issues.
Dude, what's it? Bull in a China shop, dude. Me right here. Anyways, it's great for those hot drops because I'll drop and my teammates will be like, "Oh, I don't have shield," and I'll just dump all my shield stuff,
right?
And it fence up a room and just wait a little bit longer to engage than I normally would, and I have 1 thing of shield back.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's a really cool update. I think it's good for the character. And which is odd because they give that to a character who is strictly a defense support character, and then they do other things that take away the ability to survive. You know what I mean? Like one of the patches was Revenant's Orb stops Caustic or Octane's shield or health revive. So that means Revenant Orb reduces Octane's survivability. Revenant Orb also prevents Mirage from invisible invisible rezzing. And so that stops Mirage's and his teammates' survivability. They're lowering the survivability of characters and increasing other characters' ability to be aggressive and stuff like that. And I hope that it doesn't turn into an Overwatch situation where there's just some characters you just can't get away from. That you cannot survive if they God forbid you want to play your favorite character because the good character's coming at you and you're going to die. You know what I mean? So
well, like even actually in your Discord the other day, somebody mentioned, I think Apple was talking about, it's like screw Watson, there's no point to play her. Okay, so my issue in I almost said Overwatch, Jesus, Apex is we all, third party legends is another Dan Fonts reference. He calls it third party legends. That's literally what he calls the game now. I think it's smart to have a Watson on the team now. Okay, the Watson regenerates on her own, but also you finish a fight, all you need is one wall, one cliff, one tree of cover, and you can put her ult down, and that ult at least guarantees you a little bit of your shields back and protects you from the annoying fuse, the shitty Revenant orbs. The only person Watson doesn't really protect against is Horizon. Yeah. Which I do think is something hopefully they add.
Oh, because the shield generator doesn't eat the black hole.
I believe I have to test that.
I don't know that.
I actually want to test it with you in the firing range.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it does not eat the black hole because the black hole is a device.
Right. Well, it eats caustic gas, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So a caustic gas is a device too.
Yeah.
So I don't. We'll test it out. We'll test it out.
One of the things in my notes, I actually was saying I think we'll get more playability out of Watson if they make her a hard counter to Horizon. I think if her shield will stop the grav lifts.
Yeah, and the black hole. I think that's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea. Let's wrap it. I got 3 rumors I want to just hit everybody with, and then that's how we're gonna end the show. We don't even need to discuss some CowVan because let's talk about it next time.
Let's do it.
Okay, rumor 1, Loba. This was on the PT, what is it, the public test server, PTS, for a while. They were trying this out. They want more people playing Loba. So supposedly her shot is going to be able to pull your tags from dead teammates.
I like that.
I think it's a great move if they do it.
It's a great idea.
I ship Loba. A lot of people don't. I ship her.
Yes.
I know there's
Loba.
Yeah, there's some issues with the sling ring still. I know that they're going to work it out though.
Yes.
I shipped that idea for Loba. Second rumor is the next Heirloom coming is supposedly Watson.
Interesting.
I heard it's some sort of like electric rapier, like a fencing sword.
Okay, that's cool.
She has the French accent.
Yeah.
Like something like that. They can't really do stun batons because they fucked that up and gave that to Lifeline.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, with the drumsticks.
Yes. So it kind of makes sense. She's French, What are they going to do? Like a block of cheese or like a baguette?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? So I think that'd be cool to have another
that's cool
element to the game.
Yeah, I dig that.
Or if they gave her like what is it? Like a
beret?
No, like a
pole. Hits you with.
It's like the spear, but the tip is an axe. A pallbearer? A pallbearer?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like something that's like, you see those all over. If you watch any of the Three Musketeers movies, let's just stereotype. I don't care.
So I mean, something that's true to the character would be the most appropriate thing to.
Which would be something with electricity, but we'll see what happens.
It would be really cool if they gave her those resuscitator pads, and she goes like that, and she hits you in the chest with it, dude. That would be dope. I'm sorry.
I love that her legendary execution is she rubs her hands together.
Yeah,
and start floating in the air from her electricity, and then she literally goes boop, and you disintegrate. That's her legendary execution. So like. Something with electricity would be sick.
That'd be so dope. If she goes clear, every time she hits you with the pad, she goes clear. I don't know. That'd be funny.
And then the final rumor, which I know we're going to touch on next week, after hopefully some more information comes out, is they're going to change Lifeline again.
Oh, yes, they are. Yes, that is a rumor that I heard.
One of the devs on Twitter or was it Reddit, did confirm that they're talking about the idea of adjusting the way she does her res shield.
Yes, there is a rumor out that the res shields or that when she revives somebody, you know, right now the drone comes out and a shield comes up that blocks you from damage. They're gonna test it out without the shield. So that's a rumor. No one really knows that's true.
Yeah,
but that's the thing that's out there.
And then I think I might have mentioned it last episode. Horizon is she's overdue for a huge nerf. That's another confirmed by a developer in patch 9, which will be the beginning of the next season. So we're going to get a new character and a huge supposed nerf to Horizon.
Right.
So, which because everyone's like, oh, her ult takes a minute longer to recharge. Nobody gives a shit about Horizon's ult.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
It's just like Caustics, where it misses half the time anyways when you throw it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But yeah. Anyways, episode 3 of Pex Pals. Thanks everybody for checking it out. I'm JoelCupcake.
I'm CowVan.
Shit, I did it again.
It's okay.
Thanks for being here. I think we're gonna try to shoot for every Friday, but at least once a week. You guys all gotta get it.
Well, there'll be a Pex Pals episode. Don't forget to follow me at CowVan on YouTube and Twitch.
And I'm at JoelCupcake, literally everywhere.
Everywhere.
Literally. Except Facebook, but I mean, who cares about that?
Who cares about Facebook?
I mean, yeah. Anyways, all right, Calvin, what's our phrase today? What are we wrapping?
Oh shit! You know what? I'm just gonna say it. Don't sleep on the beak.
There it is.
Don't sleep on the beak.
There it is. All right, everybody. Once again, thanks for being here. Hopefully, you'll hear our lovely little voices next week. Don't forget, chime in on the conversation using the hashtag Pex Pals.
Pex Pals.
Pex Pals. We don't have social media for the show or any of that stuff. We're just doing it off our own. So if you want to be in on the conversation, especially Twitter would be the easiest way for us to find it. Hashtag
Pex Pals.
Pex Pals. See you later.
Bye.